When disaster strikes, we expect people to panic. We picture crowds running blindly, fighting over supplies, and abandoning anyone who gets in their way. But that is not how many real disasters begin. People may ignore alarms, carry on working, finish what they're doing, or wait for someone else to react first. And when they finally recognize the danger, many do not become selfish. They help strangers, search for family members, and form temporary groups with people they have never met. So, how do people really behave during disasters? And why can those reactions sometimes appear completely irrational? Welcome to Purpose Paradigm, your channel dedicated to practical preparedness. My voice is computer generated due to an injury, but the research and opinions in this video are my own. Today, we are looking at disaster psychology, the way people interpret danger, make decisions, and respond to others when the normal rules of everyday life suddenly stop applying. Because the reality is more complicated than either panic or calm. The same person may deny the danger at first, cooperate with strangers a few minutes later, and become angry or suspicious as the emergency continues. Disaster movies often show crowds descending into chaos almost immediately. Real events usually present a more complicated picture. People can certainly panic, especially when they believe that escape is disappearing. But indiscriminate mass panic is much less common than popular culture suggests. Most people do not instantly lose control of themselves. They may be frightened, confused, and desperate, but they usually continue to follow familiar social rules. They help children, assist injured people, and cooperate with those around them. In some emergencies, strangers develop a temporary sense that they are all facing the same threat. That shared experience can encourage cooperation rather than selfishness. The crowd does not always become the danger. Sometimes it becomes part of the response. One of the most dangerous human reactions may happen before any panic begins. People often delay accepting that a serious emergency is taking place. A strange smell becomes a minor leak. Smoke in the distance becomes a small fire. A loud explosion becomes construction work or a vehicle accident. Psychologists often associate this with normalcy bias, the tendency to interpret an unfamiliar threat through the familiar world we already understand. Most unusual noises are not explosions. Most storms do not destroy the neighborhood. Most alarms are tests, mistakes, or minor incidents. That experience normally helps us avoid overreacting. During a genuine disaster, however, it can cause a dangerous delay. People may continue gathering possessions, finishing tasks, or searching for more information, even when leaving immediately would appear to be the obvious response. They are not necessarily choosing to ignore the danger. Their minds may still be trying to decide whether the danger is real. When a situation is unclear, people watch those around them. If an alarm sounds in a public building and nobody moves, leaving immediately can feel like an overreaction. Someone may look at a coworker. That coworker looks toward a manager. The manager waits for an official announcement. Everyone appears calm because everyone is watching everyone else. This is related to social proof. When we do not understand a situation, we use the behavior of other people as evidence. During an emergency, this can create a collective delay. Nobody wants to be the first person to run from a false alarm, misunderstand a warning, or appear frightened without good reason. People may also spend time talking, checking phones, and trying to confirm what has happened. Disaster researchers sometimes call this process milling. From the outside, it can look like indecision. To the people involved, it feels like an attempt to understand an uncertain threat. Another common assumption is that self-preservation automatically overrides every other concern. But people rarely experience disasters as isolated individuals. They experience them as parents, partners, friends, coworkers, and members of communities. Someone may move toward danger to find a child. A worker may wait for a colleague. A resident may refuse to leave without a pet, an elderly relative, or a neighbor who needs assistance. Researchers sometimes describe this as affiliation behavior. Under threat, people often seek familiar people rather than simply moving away from danger. This can slow an evacuation, but it can also save lives. During the evacuations from the World Trade Center on September 11th, survivors described assisting injured people, sharing information, and adjusting their actions because they felt responsible for others. People did not stop being social when the emergency began. Their social connections became part of how they understood and responded to it. Even when people understand the danger, Evacuation can involve difficult psychological choices. Leaving means abandoning familiar surroundings and surrendering control to an uncertain situation. A home represents more than a building. It may contain someone's possessions, memories, livelihood, animals, and sense of security. An evacuation destination may seem crowded, unsafe, or unknown. Roads may be blocked. Officials may have issued warnings before that did not result in disaster. Residents near volcanoes, wildfires, hurricanes, and flood zones can experience repeated alerts. When earlier warnings appear to have been unnecessary, the next one may feel less urgent. This does not always mean people are reckless. They may be weighing two different risks using incomplete information. Unfortunately, a reasonable-looking delay can become deadly when conditions change faster than expected. Human behavior during the first minutes of a disaster may look very different several days later. At first, people may cooperate, check on neighbors, and share what they have. But disasters create uncertainty. Information may be incomplete or contradictory. Communication systems may fail. Supplies can become scarce, and people may begin to believe that help is not coming. Rumors spread because people need explanations. Anger grows when resources appear to be distributed unfairly. Trust shifts away from official sources and toward friends, neighbors, or anyone who sounds confident. Some communities become more organized and supportive. Others become divided, suspicious, or territorial. This does not necessarily happen because people suddenly lose their morality. Exhaustion, fear, hunger, uncertainty, and a loss of control can gradually change how people judge both risks and one another. Disaster psychology is not simply the study of panic. It is the study of people trying to make sense of events that no longer fit their understanding of normal life. Some will deny the danger. Some will wait for others to move. Some will search for the people they love, while complete strangers may risk themselves to help one another. A small number may exploit the situation, but widespread panic and selfishness are not inevitable. The truth is that people carry their relationships, habits, fears, and social rules into a disaster with them. They do not instantly become different people, but as the situation changes, their behavior may change with it. How do you think the public would behave during a major disaster in your area? Would people cooperate, wait for instructions, or quickly become divided? Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Please like the video and subscribe to Prepper's Paradigm for more practical and realistic discussions about preparedness and survival. Thanks for watching. Until next time, stay safe and stay prepared.